All right, welcome. Today we're going to peek behind the curtain and head straight into the engine room of the nation. We're talking about how South Africa's public money is actually managed. And trust me, this is way more than just numbers on a page. It's the very system that powers our country. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how it all works.
So, first things first, let's start with the big picture. Why is managing public money so incredibly important? Well, it all boils down to this one big idea called public financial management, or PFM for short.
Think of PFM as the government's, well, its operating system. It's not just about balancing the books, It's the whole shebang, the entire framework that takes political promises and big national goals and turns them into actual, real-world services. A good PFM system is absolutely crucial for financial stability and, maybe most importantly, for building public trust. So, we know what it is, but what makes a PFM system actually good? Is there some kind of secret formula? Well, it turns out there's a pretty universal blueprint for getting it right, and it applies pretty much anywhere in the world.
At its heart, any solid PFM system is really trying to do four things. First, maintain fiscal discipline. That's just a fancy way of saying live within your means and don't get buried in debt. Second, allocate resources efficiently, so making sure the money goes where it's needed most. Third, achieve operational efficiency, which means getting the best bang for every buck. And finally, promote accountability and transparency, making it easy for everyone to see what's going on. And this is how those pieces all fit together. It's like a cycle, right? It all starts with strong rules. That's your legal foundation. Those rules help shape clear goals, making sure the budget actually lines up with what the country wants to achieve. Then, of course, you need skilled people to make it happen. Their work has to be visible through open reporting, which allows for constant scrutiny from auditors and the public. And that scrutiny, it feeds right back into making the rules stronger. It's a virtuous cycle.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this blueprint actually play out here in South Africa? Let's zoom in on our very own financial rulebook, which is designed to make all of this happen.
And that rulebook is the Public Finance Management Act, the PFMA. Now this thing, passed back in 1999, was a total game changer. Seriously, it completely flipped the script. We went from just ticking boxes and following old rules to focusing on results. The big question was no longer just did we spend the money correctly, but did we actually deliver good services with that money?
So the PFMA brought in three massive changes. First, it decentralized things, giving managers on the front lines more power and responsibility. Second, it put a huge focus on performance, so success was measured by results, not just spending. And third, it really ramped up accountability with much stronger audits and controls. But, and this is super important, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Every country is different. You can see here that South Africa's PFMA is flexible and focused on results. Contrast that with Nigeria's approach, which is much more rigid with specific economic targets. The big takeaway here is that every nation has to build a system that fits its own unique challenges.
All right, we've talked about the big picture, the laws, but what about the nitty-gritty? How do we actually count all this money, day in and day out?
Well, there are two main ways to do the books. Cash basis accounting is the simple one. It's kind of like your personal bank account. You only record money when it comes in or goes out. Simple, but it doesn't give you the whole story. Accrual basis, on the other hand, is much more comprehensive. It records income when you've earned it and expenses when you've committed to them, even if the cash hasn't moved yet. It gives a much more honest picture of financial health, which is exactly why South Africa is moving more and more in that direction. But even the best system runs into real-world problems. And one of the biggest challenges, especially at the municipal level, is a simple one. What happens when people don't pay for the services they receive? And when that happens, wow, it kicks off a truly nasty domino effect. Suddenly, the municipality is short on cash, so services start to suffer. Then they have to borrow money just to keep the lights on, which is expensive. Critical maintenance on things like roads and water pipes gets put on the back burner. And before you know it, public trust just evaporates, and that can lead to serious social unrest. It's a stark reminder of how financial health and social stability are linked. This all leads us to our final and maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. How do we keep this massive system honest? How do we make sure it actually works for the people it's supposed to serve? Well, it starts with knowing who's supposed to do what. You've got your line managers. They're the ones on the ground, making sure services get delivered.
Then you have the financial managers, or CFOs. Think of them as the co-pilots, providing all the data needed to make smart decisions. For the whole system to work, these two have to be perfectly in sync.
And watching over all of them? That's Parliament's job. They are the ultimate watchdog. They have these really powerful committees, like SCOPA, you've probably heard of them, whose entire purpose is to dig into the spending, check the audit reports, and hold people's feet to the fire.
But here's the thing. It's not just their job. It's ours too. And no, I'm not kidding. You have real power here. You can comment on new laws during public consultations. You can follow what's happening in Parliament using amazing resources like the Parliamentary Monitoring Group. You can report problems to bodies like the Public Protector. And you can show up and participate at local meetings. An active citizen is the best check and balance there is.
PFM isn't just a bunch of spreadsheet and accounting rules. It's a living, breathing system that is absolutely integral to transparent, accountable, and effective governance. It is the bedrock of a functioning democracy. So, if you take just one thing away from our time together today, let it be this. A country's financial health is not just the finance minister's problem. It's everyone's business. From the officials at the very top, right down to you and me. We're all in this together, and a strong system needs all of us to play our part. I really hope this gave you a clearer look inside the engine that powers our country's public services. If you found this useful and want more deep dives just like this one, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and of course, subscribe to Kano Consultants on YouTube.
Definitely. Yeah, click that subscribe button. We've got plenty more planned.
And maybe give this video a like. It helps other people who are interested in this stuff find the channel.
Please do. It makes a difference.
Definitely. You can find us on social media. Just search for ConsultKano. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, drop a comment below. But until then, do check out some of the other videos.
Lots to explore. Thanks again.
Kano Consultants for professional advice.
You can trust.